Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome to YogiMe. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday morning. It's nice and sunny. Looks like it should be a really nice day. This is a great way to start your Saturday. So we'll just give everybody a minute to join. We'll just get started here right at 9 o'clock. As always, we'll just need a mat. And then if you think about it after class or during class, it'd be nice if you could give this a thumbs up, a like, a share. Let me know what you think in the comments. And just a reminder that we do this every Tuesday and Thursday also at 6 p.m. Those classes are 45 minutes, and then Saturday mornings are 1 hour at 9 a.m. And then we always post the videos too, myself and the other instructors, so if you want to go back and do any other classes or just do it on your own time, that is also available. So we'll just get started here. Let's get started laying down on our backs. So take up the entire length of your mat. If this is uncomfortable, maybe on your low back, you can bring your feet to the floor and then bring your knees together. You can bring your hands to your belly, or you can bring your hands to your sides with your palms facing up. And you can take up as much space as you would like to. Just finding a nice, comfortable pose. And just see if you can bring your attention to your breath. Notice how your breath is making your belly rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. Your chest is rising and falling with each breath in and out. And then I'd like you to bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. So you can kind of notice your belly rising and falling and your chest rising and falling a little bit more. And we're going to break our breath down into 3 parts. So the first part would be your chest, probably like where your hand is. The second part is your rib cage, so that lower part of your lungs. And then the third part is your belly, so where your second hand is. So on your inhale, breathe into the first part, breathe into your chest and hold. And breathe in another third into your rib cage and hold. Breathe into that third part, your belly, and hold. And then exhale through your nose, let it all out. And take a normal breath in between. And then on your next inhale, inhale a third to your chest. Inhale a third to your rib cage and hold. Inhale the last part to your belly and hold. And exhale through your nose, let it all out. And take a normal breath in between. And on your next inhale, inhale a third to your chest. and hold. Inhale to your rib cage and hold. Then inhale to your belly, nice and deep. Inhale and hold. And exhale through your nose. Let it all out. And take a normal breath in between. And then your next inhale, inhale a third to your chest and hold. Rib cage and hold. Belly and hold. Then exhale through your nose, let everything out. And then return to your normal breath. Let your breath flow freely in and out through your nose. Sucking the air down deep to the very bottom of your lungs. And then go ahead and bend your knees if you haven't already. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your knees. Keeping your sacrum down on the mat. And then bring your feet back down to the floor with your knees bent, and then reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. So the sole of your foot is reaching towards the ceiling. Your right toes are pulling down towards your belly, and your right heel is lifting up. Your knee doesn't have to be completely straight, but stack your ankle right above the hip. Hands can come to your sides. And then gently press into your left foot to tuck your tailbone underneath. Still stamping your right heel up. Then bend your right knee, bring your right ankle to your left knee, bring your right knee out away from you. And you can stay here, or you can lift your right leg and bring it towards you. Usually we'll grab our right thigh and bring it in, but I want this to be a more active pose. So actively bring your left leg towards you, actively bring your right knee away from you. Feeling a nice gentle stretch in your right hip. And then bring your left foot back down to the mat. Bring your right thigh on top of your left thigh. Bring your arms out to a T and let your knees fall over to the left. And if you would like to, you can look towards the right. Try to keep both shoulders down on the floor. And then bring your knees back to center. Uncross your legs, bring your right foot to meet your left. And then bring your left leg up towards the ceiling. Your hands can come down to your sides. Reach your left heel up and draw your left toes down towards your belly. Stacking your left ankle right on top of your left hip. Then gently press your right foot down into the mat, tucking your tailbone underneath. Reaching that heel up towards the ceiling. And then bend your left knee, bring your left ankle to your right knee. Bring your left knee away from you. And you can stay here or lift your right leg up off the mat. And reach your right leg towards you and your left knee away from you. Bring your right shin parallel to the floor. And then set your right knee back down on the mat. Bring your left thigh on top of your right thigh. Bring your arms out to a T and bring your knees over to the right. Let them fall over to the right and look towards the left. When you're ready, bring your knees back up to center, uncross your knees, and hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice tight hug. And then bring your hands down your ankles, grab the bottoms of your feet and bring your feet up towards the ceiling. Coming into happy baby, so widening your knees wider than your torso so that your torso has room to fit. Bring your ankles on top of your knees and draw your knees down into your armpits. If your feet just seem too far away, you can always grab the backs of your thighs, or you can grab your ankles. And then release again, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice little hug. And then we'll unwind and you can flip yourself over and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. So from hands and knees, you just tuck your toes underneath and lift your hips up high. Coming into downward facing dog, so scooping your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Using all 10 fingers to press the mat away. Making that upside down V shape. Your knees can be bent. Think about lengthening the spine. Drawing your tailbone up. Keeping your neck nice and soft. Maybe shake your head yes, shake your head no. Draw your ankles down towards the floor. And then drop your knees down to the floor, drop them wide, maybe as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes together and draw your hips down towards your heels and reach forward, coming into child's pose. Actively reaching forward, maybe walking your fingers a little bit forward and drawing your tailbone back. Bringing your chest down towards the floor. Lengthening your spine. And then bring your hands back down to the mat, press them firmly into the mat. Tuck your toes underneath. Lift your hips up high, coming into downward facing dog. Then look forward, bend your knees, take a couple baby steps, or you can take a hop or a step to the front of the mat, and then lift up halfway. On an inhale, draw the crown of your head towards the front of the room. Tailbone reaches back behind you. And then exhale as you fold forward, bringing the crown of your head down to the floor. And you can bend your knees here. Maybe bend your knees a lot so that your torso rests down on your thighs. And here you can shake your head yes, shake your head no. And then on your inhale, lift up halfway again. Bring the crown of your head forward, the flat back. Then exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees and reach up. Stand all the way up. Inhale. And exhale as you bring your hands to your thighs. Shoulders come away from your ears. Quads are engaged. Your kneecaps lift up. Then inhale, lift up halfway. And lift your arms up to the ceiling. Look up. Inhale. And exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale as you plant your hands, step your feet back into plank. And hold here. Your shoulders are just above the wrists. Tucking your navel in towards your spine. And then rock forward slightly and bend your elbows as you slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes, keep your hands where they are, and straighten your elbows just until your body tells you to stop, keeping your thighs down on the mat. Coming into our cobra. And then exhale as you bring your chin down to the floor. Inhale back to cobra, so straighten your elbows until your body tells you to stop. For most of this, our elbows aren't going to be straight. On your next exhale, bring your chin back down to the floor. Inhale to cobra, shining your heart forward. Exhale, chin to the floor. Inhale, cobra, last time. Spread your collarbones, shine your heart. And exhale, chin to the floor. Tuck your toes underneath. Press up to plank. Then lift your hips up high, coming into downward facing dog. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Scooping your tailbone up. And pressing the mat away. Breathing. And look forward, bend your knees, take a step or a hop to the front of the mat. Lift up halfway, inhale. Exhale as you fold forward. Bend your knees and reach up, stand up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back into plank. And chaturanga, lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. Look forward, bend your knees, take a step or a hop to the front of the mat, and lift up into your chair pose. So knees are bent, hips are reaching back. Sink a little bit lower into your chair, reaching forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back into plank. And chaturanga, lower to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. And step your right foot up in between your hands. Let your left heel spin down, warrior one. So your left foot is at about 45 degrees. Hips are squared forward. Shoulders are squared forward. Maybe you can even take your hands and kind of physically adjust your hips forward. It's okay if they don't. This pose, your hips want to stay open, so it's a little bit of a challenge to keep them squared forward. And then reach your arms up overhead. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Turn your pinkies in towards each other to create a little bit more broadness in your shoulder blades. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you plant your hands, frame your right foot. Step your right foot back to plank and chaturanga, lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. And reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. And step your left foot up in between your hands. Let your right heel spin down, warrior one. Right foot is at about 45 degrees. Left knee is bent, hips squared forward, shoulders squared forward. Bring your pinkies in towards each other. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you frame your left foot. Bring your hands to the floor. Step your left foot back to plank and chaturanga. Lower to the floor with quality. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. And when you're ready, look forward, bend your knees. Take a step or a hop to the front of the mat. And lift up into your chair pose. Hips are coming back in space. Reaching your arms forward. Inhale. And then exhale as you fold forward. Lift up halfway. Inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to plank. And chaturanga, lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. And reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Step your right foot up in between your hands. We'll come back to our warrior one. So right heel spins down. Hips and shoulders squared forward. Right knee is bent. Really press into the outside edge of your left foot. So our warrior one, and then we'll transition to warrior two. So bring your arms up to a T. Lengthen your stance a little bit, and the back of your outside edge of your left foot should be parallel with the back of the mat. Your hips are sinking a little bit lower in this pose. Arms are parallel with the floor. Bring your shoulders away from your ears and look over your right middle finger. And then drop your left hand down to the floor, flip your right palm up, reach your arm up overhead to reverse your warrior. Bring your right elbow away from your right knee. Then bring your right elbow to your right knee. Reach your left arm up overhead and forward so it's in line with your left leg. So from your left toes to the outside edge of your left foot, there's a long straight line. And then use your core as you lift back up to warrior two. Bring your hands to your hips. And then see if you can step your left foot up to meet your right foot. And sink into a chair pose. So your arms come forward. Your hips come back. Inhale as you reach up, and exhale as you fold forward. And from here, reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Coming into standing splits. Your right leg can be lifted to any degree. Whatever works for you. And see if you can bring your hands a little bit closer to your left ankle. And maybe see if you can grab your left ankle, getting a little bit more of a balancing pose. And then bring your right foot back to meet your left. Lift up halfway, inhale, exhale as you plant your hands, step your feet back to plank, and we'll go through a flow. So chaturanga, lower to the floor, inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths here. Reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Step your left foot up in between your hands and lift up to your warrior one. So your right heel is at about 45 degrees. Left knee is bent. Hips and shoulders squared forward. Arms reaching up. Fingers turned towards each other. Broaden your shoulder blades. Pressing into the outside edge of your right foot. And then open your arms, open your hips up to a T. And then widen your stance so that and then bring your right foot to be parallel with the back of the mat. Arms out to a T, gazing over your left middle finger. Sinking your hips down lower in this pose. Arms are parallel with the floor. And then drop your right hand down to your right thigh. Flip your left palm up. And reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And back behind you so that your left elbow is as far away from your left knee as it will go. And then bend your left elbow, bring your left elbow to your left knee, and reach your right arm up overhead. Bringing your right fingertips as far away from your left foot as they will go. Reaching, sending a breath to your right side body. And then use your core as you lift back up, warrior two. Bring your hands to your hips and step your right foot up to meet your left. And sink into your chair pose. Arms are reaching forward. Tailbone tucks under. Then inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale as you fold forward. Bring your hands or fingertips to the floor. And reach your your left leg back behind you, coming into standing splits. So you're standing on your right leg. Left foot can come up to any degree. Then see if you can walk your hands a little bit closer to your right ankle. Maybe even grab onto your right ankle. And don't forget to breathe. Keep your hips squared to the floor. And then bring your left foot to meet your right. Lift up halfway. Inhale. And exhale as you fold forward. Bend your knees. Bring your torso to rest on your thighs. And look back behind you. Then inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift up halfway. Then exhale as you plant your hands, step your feet back to plank. And chaturanga, lower to the floor. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. Make them nice and deep. Drawing the air down to the very bottom of your lungs. And then shift forward into plank. And then shift forward in chaturanga, slowly all the way down to the floor. Bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And we'll come into Sphinx pose. So use the very tips of your fingers to grip onto the mat or to the floor. And gently pull your shoulders, pull your chest through your arms. Your neck is in line with your spine. So you're looking down at the floor, maybe a couple inches or maybe a foot in front of your hands. The tops of your feet are pressing down into the floor. And then bring your hands below your shoulders. And we'll lift up into our cobra a few times here. So as you inhale, straighten your elbows just until your body tells you to stop. Keeping your thighs down on the mat, keeping the tops of your feet on the mat. Shining your heart forward. Then exhale as you bring your chin back down to the floor. Inhale, press into your hands, cobra. Keeping your elbows hugged into your torso. Then exhale as you bring your chin back down to the floor. Bring your arms out to a T. And lift up into your cobra as you bring your chest up off the floor. This time bring your legs up off the floor. Bring your thighs up. Lift your hands. Lift your heart. And breathe. Then exhale as you bring everything back down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes underneath. And press up to plank. And hold here. Just getting a little touch to your core. You can always drop your knees down. And then lift your hips up high, coming into downward facing dog. And then drop your knees wide, bring your toes together, hips sink back, arms reach forward, and forehead comes to the mat. And breathe. Stay connected to your breath here. Then plant your hands firmly into the mat. Begin to tuck your toes and lift your hips up high. Downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bring your right elbow to your right knee and tap it. Send it back out long. Right knee to left elbow, tap it. Send it out long. Right knee to nose, hover it in. Send it out long. And then we'll set up for a pigeon pose, so bring your right ankle behind your left wrist. Right knee behind your right wrist. Left leg is straight back behind you. Maybe you use your left toes to bring your left hip a little further back. So your right shin, it can be parallel with the top of the floor, top of the mat. Doesn't have to be. Find a pose that works for you. Maybe your right foot comes closer to you. or further away. Just make sure you have a nice base here. Maybe bring your hands to your hips. Make sure that this is a nice base, nice pose for you. And then bring your hands to the floor. You can stay here, or you can drop to your forearms. You can even make a nice pillow with your hands and rest your forehead down there. But once you've found the pose that works for you, try to see if you can commit to some stillness, getting any adjustments or wiggles out. Try to free yourself from distractions. Maybe you really want to pick all those specks of dust off of your mat. But once you're in this pose, try to commit to some stillness. And just ask yourself, your body, what it might need. What it might need to let go of. And use your nice deep exhales to find your pose. And then if you're not already there, start to make your way up to your palms. And you can stay here, or you can bend your left knee and reach your left hand towards your left ankle. Maybe you can grab your left ankle or the top of your foot. Keep your shoulders and your hips squared forward. It's okay if you can't reach your back foot, just reaching for it. You'll get all the benefits of this pose. And then release, bring your left hand back down to the floor. Tuck your left toes underneath, lift your left knee. And then slowly and gently, taking your time, come back to your three-legged dog, reaching your right leg up towards the ceiling. For a release, and then set your right foot back to meet your left, downward facing dog. And then reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Bring your left knee to your left elbow, tap it, send it out long. Left knee to right elbow, tap, and send out long. Left knee to your nose, hover it in, and send it out long. And then step it into your pigeon pose. Left ankle comes behind right wrist. Left knee behind left wrist. Right leg comes straight back behind you. So again, your left shin could be parallel with the top of the mat, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe you scoot your right knee a little bit further back. Just find a pose that works for you. Maybe bring your hands to your hips. Make sure you have a nice base. Your hips aren't falling to one side or the other. And then bring your palms back down to the floor. You can stay here. Or you can come down to your forearms. Or you can build that pillow with your hands. But once you've gotten all your fidgets out, see if you can commit to some stillness here. Letting go of any expectations of your right side and your left side being completely the same. And then as you commit to that stillness, ask your body what it needs. See if it can let go of anything it's been holding on to. If any unnecessary gripping or tightness, that you can just let go. That you can use your breath to help you with. And then when you're ready, if you're not already there, make your way up to your palms. And if you would like to, you can bend your right knee, reach your right arm back towards your right foot. Maybe you can grab your right foot, your right ankle. But keep your hips and your shoulders squared forward. Just for a few breaths. And then release. Bring both of your Palms to the floor, tuck your right toes underneath. Lift your right knee, and slowly and gently, taking your time, come back to your three-legged dog. Left leg comes high. And then set your left foot down to meet your right. Coming into your last downward facing dog. And then bend your knees deeply, send them down on the floor. Cross your ankles deeply. Come to seated. And then scoot yourself forward as you come down to laying on your backs. Bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. And then bring your hands down to your sides. Reach the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Getting an inversion, getting our legs above our heart. Gives our heart a little bit of a break. Reach your heels up towards the ceiling, draw your toes down towards you. Your legs don't have to be straight, but see if you can bring your ankles above your hips. And then bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. Bring your feet to the floor, and then bring your knees out wide and the soles of your feet together in our reclined butterfly. And then bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly. And we'll practice our 3-part breath a few more times here. So on your next inhale, inhale to your chest and pause. Inhale to your rib cage and pause. Inhale to your belly and pause. And then exhale through your nose, let everything out, and take a normal breath in between. And on your inhale, inhale a third to your chest and pause. Rib cage, pause. Belly, pause. And exhale through your nose. And take a normal breath in between. Inhale to your chest, pause, rib cage, pause, belly, pause, and exhale through your nose, let everything out. And then return to your normal breath. Use your hands to help close your thighs, like you're closing a book. And you can heel toe your feet out and stay here with your knees knocked together. Or you can bring your legs out long as we set up for our final pose. Our corpse pose, Shavasana. You can keep a hand on your chest and on your belly, or you can bring your hands out to your sides. And just start to let go of all breath control, of all muscle control. Release the muscles in your face. Release your jaw. Release your shoulders. And just let your entire body feel heavy and completely supported by the ground. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start to roll your wrists and your ankles. Take any movement here that feels natural. Then when you're ready, roll into the right side of your body, hugging your knees in towards your chest and using your bicep as a pillow. And send a few breaths to your back. Then use your left hand, press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands together, bring your palms, press them in towards each other. Bring your thumbs to your sternum. Thank you for spending this time with me today. The light and love in me honors and acknowledges the light and love in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.